My field experience was at Cary High School in Cary, Ohio. I was with Miss Heben, who is a 7th and 8th grade special education teacher at Cary. When I am at my field placement, she has one class that she teaches with 5 students. 2 of the students are at or below a 2nd grade level. The other 3 students are able to do their homework and classwork on their own, but they need it to be simple and to the point. She also has 3 inclusions throughout the day. 2 of her inclusions are with 7th grade math, and the other inclusion is 7th grade science. I also help to answer students' questions during Miss Heben's 3 inclusions. 2 of Miss Heben's inclusions are math. Since I am a math major, I felt at home during these inclusions. I was able to help Miss Heben and the teacher answer the students' questions about their worksheets or their homework. The class sizes at Cary are normal class sizes with about 25 to 30 students in each class at a time. The classrooms are decorated with posters, sayings, and information that has to do with the school and the community. The students also have a good relationship with their teachers. Most of the teachers know the students' parents personally outside of school, and they may know their students' extended family. Cary is a very small rural school district that is about 20 miles away from the city of Findlay, Ohio. Cary is made up of laborers, farmers, and people who work in various trades across the community. It is a very middle-class small-town community who focuses their lives around family, church, school, and athletics. It is definitely one of those towns where everyone knows everyone. They have the National Shrine and the OLC, a Catholic school. Cary is a great place to raise a family, as many of the students and families are very nice and down to earth. The school district is very small, and the school is one big school with the elementary school, middle, and high school in one building. The students do not leave Cary very often for vacation. If they leave Cary, they go to Findlay, Ohio for the day and then return home. Being at Cary schools has shown me more about what kind of teacher I want to be. I want to inspire students to do better in school and show them that if they put their mind to something, they can accomplish anything they want to. It has also shown me how I want to teach my students. I want to give my students work that means something to their education, and not work that is busy work. I want to show my students that if they work hard and care about their schooling, it will help them in the long run when they go to college and get a job. My major responsibility I had at my placement was to work with one of the students who worked at a 2nd grade level. If he had reading that needed to be completed for a class, I would sit in the back of the classroom with him at the table and read him the reading. If he had questions to answer associated with the reading, I would read him the question. If he knew the answer right away, he would tell me. But if he did not, I would find the answer in the book, and then he would find the answer on the page. Then he would tell me the answer, and I would write down what he told me on his paper. I also read students their tests and quizzes if they had to make them up. I would read them the directions, and then I would move on to the first question. I would then read the question and give them time to answer the question. If they wanted the question repeated, or if they wanted to move on to the next question, I would do so. Miss Heben also had me create a lesson on adjectives completely on my own. She told me what she wanted me to include in my lesson, but other than that, it was up to me to create the lesson. I was in charge of how I wanted to present the information to the students and what activities I wanted the students to complete. Once I was almost done with my lesson, I realized I did not have enough planned to last the entire period, so I had to improvise. Creating and teaching this lesson showed me that teachers need to be able to think on their feet when they are in front of their class. A teacher also needs to have a feel for whether or not their students understand the information they are being taught. She told me that I did an awesome job with my lesson and that I looked comfortable in the front of the classroom. Towards the end of my placement, Miss Heben wanted her students to create sentences of what they were thankful for. The students have a tough time completing this task because most of the students who attend Cary do not leave Cary often. If they do leave Cary, they go to Findlay, Ohio for the day and then return home. They do not go on family trips very often since their family lives in Cary or near Cary. When the students were writing their sentences, I was working with a student who is at a second grade level. For him, it was easy to come up with what he was thankful for, but when he wanted to put them into sentences, it was hard for him to think of how to start off the sentences. He wanted each sentence structure to have the same exact words, but Miss Heben wanted me to have him think outside of the box and make sure each sentence structure was different. It took him a while to complete the assignment, but with help he was able to create his sentences. This lesson was one of the more complex lessons she had her students complete because she creates her lessons to make sure her students are going to understand what she is teaching them. Also, during the math inclusions with Miss Cole, I noticed that once she teaches the information to her students, she moves on to the next section, whether or not her students fully understand what she taught them. For example, the students completed a test and most of them failed. Instead of going back and reteaching the students the information they did not understand, Miss Cole decided to move on to the next section where the students needed to fully understand the information they were previously taught to be able to understand how to solve what they were now learning. When I attended my school, which was suburban, if we did terrible on a test, our teachers would go back and reteach the information. They would then give us a short quiz on the information to see if we relearned correctly how to solve the problems. Throughout my experience at Cary High School, it has opened my eyes up to a whole new world of teaching. At first, walking into Cary, I was skeptical about how my experience was going to be throughout the first semester. The one reason that made me so skeptical was seeing that Cary was one school with all the grades. It seemed small and also seemed that there was going to be no one inside of the school. But once we walked into the school, I got a sense that everyone knew everyone. I realized that Cary was just like the school district I attended, which made me a little more comfortable. When we all met Mr. Colt in the auditorium, I could see how enthusiastic he was about his job and that he wanted all of us to have an amazing experience throughout our time at Cary. When we took our tour through the elementary school, I noticed that they are the kind of school that likes to show what their students have created. This puts color into the hallways and shows that the students care about one another. It also gives the students artwork to look at when they are in the hallway. Then we took a walk through the high school, and I realized that there was a lot more students in the school than I originally thought. In the high school, there were banners hanging throughout the hallway, all the athletes' lockers were decorated, and there were posters hanging up throughout the school about what programs were happening. Once I met my teacher, I was right at home. She was respectful to me and wanted to tell me all about her experiences since she was only a second-year teacher. All of the teachers welcomed me into Cary with open arms and wanted to get to know me as a person, especially the teachers who I ate lunch with every week I was there. The first day they asked me where I was from, my major, and other personal questions to get to know me. After the first day, they treated me like another colleague of theirs. The main thing I learned is that as a teacher, I need to be respectful to all of my colleagues because I will be working with them for a period of time. I will have to see all of them throughout the school on a daily basis. It was nice to see that the teachers were all friends and could joke around with each other at lunchtime in the teacher's lounge. This experience will help me when I become a teacher because as a teacher, you take things that you have seen other teachers do and implement them into your classroom. In my opinion, a teacher's ideas is a little of their ideas, and then a combination of all of the teachers they have had over their years of being a student and the teachers they have shadowed. I'm grateful to be able to have this experience.